Okay, entrepreneurship. For the second part of the video primer for PowerPoint, let's take a look at a little situation that I ran into. And if you notice, I pointed out in part one that everything that we were doing there was internet dependent. In other words, you had to have a connection to the internet. It also has to be fast enough to play whatever you're putting in there. So if it's an HD video, it's got to be able to download it at a speed that will do that. So just some considerations. So anyway, I ran into a situation where I was to put on a PowerPoint presentation along with another young lady from Bowling Green, and we got to this slide, and it's called the job interview. And I went ahead and I clicked, and what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to pull up YouTube. Uh-oh. And all it says is this video is private. Sorry about that. When I had linked to this video, it was public domain. Anybody could use it. Why it's now private? No clue. No clue at all. Chances are, though, that this is owned by somebody who didn't realize that they had made it public and it was meant for their internal use. So what we're going to talk about now are ways to get around this problem, because I don't want any of you to run into it. None of them are particularly easy, but sometimes the long way around is the better. And there are pros and cons of doing it this way. One of the problems with putting a video right into a PowerPoint presentation is that if it's a lengthy video and it's 50 megabytes, well, guess what? Your PowerPoint is now 50 megabytes plus whatever it was going to be anyway. So 53, 54 megabytes. It's now a large file. So depending on where you're storing that, and I realize by today's standards it's not that big a deal, but once again you can run into issues. So let's look at this as far as what we could do. First of all, you can duplicate this slide. We're just going to go here, and then here, which is nothing but a text box, we're going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to go back here to my insert media clip, the thing that I told you was kind of a pain to use. Well, here is the time to use it. I have in my materials, and by the way, whenever I'm doing a PowerPoint, I keep all of my materials in one file folder, I should say. And what I was trying to get you to be able to watch was something called Bad Job Interview, which is an MP4 file. So we're going to highlight that. We're going to insert, and ooh, isn't that cool? It gives us this tiny, tiny little thing. Well, not really. We're going to have to do some rearranging here. But notice I can adjust the size. So I've got a lot of control. Plus the big advantage is that this is going to play from right within the PowerPoint. It's not pulling up anything. You don't have to stop your presentation and restart your presentation. Now, mind you, if you notice behind it, yeah, I've kind of lost my background and stuff. Okay, you can deal with that. So you're saying, okay, that's cool. How did you get this off of the internet? Well, I had kind of a backup plan, and you should too. And here's what I did. Let's get out of all of this stuff. Down here at the bottom, this is a program called YTD Video Downloader. And this is the basic version. I think it cost me, it was expensive. I think it cost me nothing. So, but if I want to download something, I can go where the video is, i.e. YouTube, copy and paste the video in here, and I don't have anything chosen right now, but let's go find something. Ooh, let's find this one. Copy. And go back to YTD. And notice it senses something on the clipboard, so it automatically inserts what it thinks I might be looking for. Ignoring all of the rest of this stuff, then I just click download. And it literally will steal it off the web. And notice it's picked up the name. It knows that it's 22 megabytes. And here it is downloading. So we'll just go ahead and let this finish right now. We're not actually going to do anything with it, but I wanted you to see how it worked. So you're saying, well, that's a big pain. I've got to go install, and perhaps we can't install this program at school. Well, you sure can at home. Not an issue. And for all I know, they may have a version meant for your iPhones or your smartphones now. So I just wanted to point that out. But embedding video can go in another direction. And this is something you should be aware of, and this is why I'm spending so much time bringing it up. You can take video with your phone. And once again, tethering it using a USB cable is a very simple matter of getting the video from your phone onto your computer and insert it in here. Why would you do that? Well, depending on your subject matter, if you've got an interview, you can tape it with your iPhone. If you're outside and you're showing people the flora and fauna in your yard, whatever you want to do, it's a very simple matter. You now have the video. You are not internet dependent. And that's the whole point of this thing, is freeing you from the internet. Imagine if you were in front of 100 people showing this PowerPoint and the internet goes out. You got nothing. You got nothing. So, take it from my sad experience when we went through this. Fortunately, I'd kind of seen that ahead. We were warned when we were going to do this down at the Columbus Convention Center that internet was spotty, and they couldn't tell us which rooms it would work in and which rooms we might have issues. So I had gone ahead, and that's when I learned of that program, that YTD downloader, and put it in. So that concludes the basic series. You have all of the tools now to do a really first-class presentation. As things arise, I will add to this with more advanced things, but I wanted you to be aware of the fundamentals and how to get around some of the issues that you might run into. So thanks for sticking it out, guys, and I will see you in class.